enabling ALPN so that Chrome will have proper HTTP2 support. If we test my site, you'll see ALPN is not currently supported. And I did some speed tests here just before recording to see if we get a change in the before and after. This is a brutal site from Australia. Brutal meaning a whole lot of images. It's about worst case scenario. Also pretty slow on this test as well. All right. So what do we have to do? Well, basically it just tells us to log in, disable HTTP2, and then log back in. Now, while that's cranking along there, just showing you, this is where it explains it. Just says disable and then re-enable. Now what we can do is repeat those tests while it's disabled. And the site's actually going to go down briefly when you're in the middle of disabling. There we go. So I've just bumped in users. That's why I waited till 10:30 at night. A less busy time, Eastern time zone, time of day. All right, it's disabled. If we do a test, of course, things are going to change there. There you go. HTTP2 is off, but the site is up, functional. All right, so now's a good time to kick off a rerun. First result. Hard to say if it's valid, but we have 4 other tests. And I don't really want to wait around. I'm going to start the other test here. A little frustrating that webpagetest.org, that happens so very often. All right, that's a little boring to watch until it's done. Let's look at the waterfall view here and see if there's anything of interest to really talk about here. Well, pretty long for these images, frankly. And then we have, well, we don't have OCSP stapling obvious there. That's odd. Okay. I don't know why. Oh well, this video is not about that. It's about ALPN and specifically this Chrome browser I'm using here. So let's see if I got anywhere with this test. 4 other tests still. Yuck. All right, looks like those are about the same amount of time. 4.9. Very similar. Okay, I am not going to wait around for that. I don't think. Well, I could just pause the video and resume when this thing's finished. Okay, how about that? All right, pause the recording. Be right back when it's done. Okay, it finished. That waterfall view does not look too good. First byte was pretty poor. There's the OCSP. Interesting. Let's move along and just turn it back on. So back here. Explains what it is. Simply turn it back on. Hit save changes. Wait a little bit. So it didn't take me so long to get back in there that Cloudways logged off. It's actually doing the change now, so that's good. Gonna lose the site again briefly. Just for a few seconds while that's happening. You can see that Cloudways really shields you from daemons and SSH and command line stuff to memorize. They really do have a friendly GUI for most things. There, minimal downtime. So now we look here, HTTP2 is enabled. We go here and there's a test. Ta-da! Success, ALPN supported. It worked, so that's cool. Duplicate that. Duplicate that. Now let's see if we get somewhere. And click on, oops, there you go, back to home. Did not mean to do that. Let's see, summary, retest. Okay, that's going. And over here, Did that run from Melbourne? Ooh, yes it did. Okay, but over on the third tab, Melbourne again. Melbourne? Okay, it's running. How many people? Not too many. That's good. So that's cool, because I never saw that before or never had that on. So that's a sign of success there. Now I'm just waiting for this window to show me something, and this window. Okay, that one's already done. 4.7 versus the first one. Not really significant difference. How about 2.1 meg, 69? Anything changed there? Probably not. Same number of requests, right? It's not doing anything magical. Still really complaining about that, having your CDN in one place, but right. Well, back to here. This should be done shortly. Then I can wrap this up. But so far I'm guessing things are fine. What I really want to look at is Google Analytics over time and see how the page load times go all over the world over the next day or so and then week or so, and just compare and see if there's been any disadvantage. Now, considering I think it was 45% of my visitors use Chrome, it's rather important that they perform well, that it performs well for them. And we're just not really seeing a difference, and the repeat view is not all that much less either. So unfortunately, for this particular test, no big shock there. GT metrics would have been a good one to do, and I could always turn it off again, but let's do that. Okay, Sydney, browser Firefox. Can we change that over to Chrome, unthrottled? Let's see what kind of result that gets us. Again, though, I don't have a before or and an after to compare here, but each benchmark or web page test site is dramatically different in results and the kinds of advice it gives. So I'd strongly recommend you try many of them. All right, pretty good speed for Australia. This one tends to be with the unthrottled approach and fast pipes to the servers. You tend to get speedier results when you use this particular site, GT metrics. Still quite long in that first second. I want to look into that, but I think we're done here. That's it. That's how you get ALPN turned on. If you haven't logged into Cloudways in a while, you might find, if you're like me and had HTTPS on for some time, many months, you might find that when you log in, it warns you that you can get ALPN supported for your Chrome browser now. And I actually have an article about that, where I talk a little bit about, isn't this weird? I'm turning on HTTP2, but for my large number of Chrome visitors right there, oops, it wasn't supported. So Chrome, 56% of my visitors. Wow. All right. Now I'm trying to remember, where did I get this from? That's from GT Metrics, I believe. So that's webpage.test. Oh, okay. This is me doing a bunch of test results. Chrome, HTTP2, Chrome, Speedy. So I should add this new one. All right, so we look at the URL. See a bunch of tests are added. This part seems to signify the test. So I'm going to just kind of cheat, see how that goes. All right, it worked. And now I'm going to say Chrome HTTP2 ALPN. Can't Can't seem to save that many characters. No, that worked. All right. Now what? Scroll across. And we're actually getting the most horrible results there. Well, that could be because I'm not comparing apples. No, I am comparing this apples to apples. It's the same article. Wow. Don't quite know what to make of that. Let's try a retest and see if anything different happens. Oh, let's look at what part of the world this was done in. Let's see. Click here, and it was for New York. Okay. Very important to be careful about such details. So, all right. So here we go. Back to the home page. We'll try a New York test. And let's see what we get. I'll also want to see what browser and other stuff that was used. Hang on a second. There it is. It's Firefox, Chrome. Okay. And was it unthrottled? So I go in here. How do I know if it's throttled? I think, yeah, I believe I always run unthrottled. So Chrome, New York, start, and wait. Never mind. It's GTmetrix that has the unthrottled option. All right, we're at the front of the queue. Should have a result soon for New York. And then I'll be able to clean up this silly mess I made here. Or I should not have added that because it had nothing to do with it. So let me get rid of it. There we go. That was easy enough. And the test is almost done. Awesome. Didn't have to bother stopping the video. I can just keep on cruising right through the end. So when I get a result, which is right there, that part of the URL, should be able to inject it in the appropriate spot, which is Firefox, Chrome, yeah, right at the bottom again. Test's not quite done yet. And really, you should run it multiple times in a row to see if there's any caching results or if you get consistent results. Just pointing that out. Whoa. Nice. I'm tentatively excited. Let me hit refresh here. Let's see how the film strip looks. Okay, maybe did that number change? Hang on. I don't think it did. I'm having some trouble with the rendering. 4.1. I'm confused. So visually done looks like around 4. But this isn't saying that at all. So there is something wrong. I don't know what. All right, let's try removing this. Try adding it again. All right. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. I just don't know. Let me go in and look at this. Wow, we're starting to see overlapped CDN traffic, which is what I had always hoped for. So I get the feeling something good has happened here. For some, this is good. Yes. Visually complete 3.9 though. Okay, so this is still true. That 3.9 is not amazing. So all I can say is, on the summary page, repeat view is lower. I don't know, I'm going to rerun again. While we're looking at that finishing, let's see how long it took to be visually complete in the other ones. So we get a yellow box around visually complete. And we were all the way down at 1.7 seconds before. So back to removing this last one for caching effects. Maybe New York hadn't hit the CDN yet, and now the cache needs to be primed. And when this new one is done, we'll add this new URL segment to the comparison table, and then we'll call it a day. This has got a little more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but it's okay. This one, by the way, I don't think it runs twice, so I should probably run that again as well. 4.9, 5.1, 4.7, duplicate. Horrible idea to run it at the same time as another benchmark. So we're going to let this one finish, which should be any second now. So again, getting ready with the clipboard. We'll watch the URL. Nothing changes as we learned earlier, but I'm going to let it finish anyway. And I don't quite know why it takes so long. It's probably the analysis or film strip view it's generating. Good results. The repeat view is actually slightly slower, which is a little bit weird, but not really. So we're getting consistent results and fast results. Um, 83, the first gold box, what does it mean? Well, I don't know. The visually complete's still up around 3.9. So we don't have, any shocking, amazing results here, but Chrome, HTTP2, ALPN, and save. So that's my results. I think we'll probably call it a night here. Oh yeah, I was going to retest from here as well. Look at waterfall view just a little longer. And there's an ad network. There's Shareaholic, which I'm probably planning to dump anyway. And some Facebook tracking, which is weird because I don't use Facebook for anything at all, but that's got to be the sharing thing that's doing that. CloudFront, that's the buy-sell ad network, I think, looking up for its content delivery network. And then a whole bunch of information with really fast time to first bytes and loads of the images, which we did not see from Australia. All right, how we do on rerunning over here? Not so good. It's still Australia. So really no improvement seen on that particular tool. How about this one? Slightly slower for whatever reason. All right. Well, at least it went smoothly where I don't have significant downtime. And again, the proof is in the pudding to leave it running for days and see how people do over time. There's one more super simple thing we can do here, and that is just forget all the benchmarking tools and just use what's built into Chrome. So go to the same article and then hit F5. Notice disable cache is turned on by default. When you hit F5, it's doing a forced network reload, and it's taking 3.54 seconds. So that would have been a good informal thing to try, before and after turning on ALPN. Kind of doubt we'd have all that much of a difference, but I'm just pointing out if you want a tool-free way that's built right into your browser, you can do it like that, and there's something very similar built into Edge browser and Firefox. Okay, so again, thanks for watching and for visiting tinkertry.com.